Good day, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Bed Talks with Emmy. If this is your first time watching, do well to like, share, and subscribe. Today, we're talking about something very crucial for us teenagers and as youths, which is goal setting. Yeah, and whether you're a teenager or an adult, goal setting is a very important tool to achieving personal growth and accomplishment. So let's start with the why. Why do you set goals? Goals give your life direction and purpose, right? They help you to stay focused and motivated. Like whenever you're down, they help you remember why you started whatever you started. And when you achieve these goals, yeah, it tend to give you a sense of relax. I don't know if anybody has had this feeling before, but like there's this feeling you get when you are done washing your clothes. Let's say you keep your clothes for like a couple of weeks and you end up washing them at the end. There's this feeling when you dry them and you feel like, oh wow, I've actually done it. There's this relax. Yeah. So when you set your goals and you achieve them, there's this sense of rest that comes to you. We have long-term goals and we have short-term goals, right? Long-term goals are career goals, career ambitions, and all of those stuff. While short-term goals are long-term goals that are broken down into bits, right? So let's say you want to be a first class student. That is a long-term goal because it takes a very long time. For some courses, it takes 4 years, 6 years, whatever. That is a long-term goal. But the short-term goal is to probably read every day, get through your books and all of those stuff. Those are the short-term goals you give to yourself in order to get to that long-term goal. Yep. So the reason why we have short-term goals and the reason why we have long-term goals is because when you keep your goals long, like when you just have the long-term goal without having a proper preparation or a proper short-term goal, yeah, you tend to find yourself lost while trying to achieve them. Right. So let's say you just want to achieve a first class and you don't have a plan, you don't have a short-term goal. Oh, for my everyday activity, what am I going to do? Am I reading 2 books a day? Am I reading 3 books a day? Or how many classes am I attending? All of those stuff. You tend to get lost trying to achieve them, and it's very frustrating. Trust me. When setting goals, remember the SMART criteria. SMART is an acronym, right? The S is for specific, M measurable, A achievable, R relevant, and the last one T time bound, right? So, in order for you to call your goal an effective goal, it has to go through and tick all these boxes, right? So, we'll start with the S. Your goal should be specific. Yep. Because when your goal is specific, it is well defined, it is clear, it has a clear path. Saying you want to be successful is not specific enough. Yeah. How successful do you want to be? Now, for a student, you don't just say, I want to pass my exams. Passing your exams is vague. You might get a B, depending on what you call pass. You might get a B, you might get a C, and A. All can still be called passing your exams, right? But when you are specific, I want to get an A in this course, it gives you a picture of what you actually want to get at the end, right? If you just say you want to be successful, if you say you want to pass your exams and you get a B, it's still a pass. But to you, it might not be a pass because that's not probably what you wanted. But if you're specific about the goal, you know if you got it or not. If I say I want a B and I don't get a B, that means I know I didn't get that goal. If I say I want an A and I don't get an A, that means I didn't get to that goal. So it helps to keep you in check. So the M, your goals should be measurable. You should be able to quantify your goals. Your goals should have a quantity, right? Let's say for a student, I want to read 2 books a day. That is a quantity that you want to achieve every day. So the moment you don't achieve it, you know you've not done this particular thing. You know you've not achieved this particular goal, right? It helps to keep you accountable. The A, which is achievable, your goals should be realistic. Like, I don't know how I need to emphasize on this one. Your goals should be realistic. Most of the time, we find ourselves setting goals that are beyond our reach, yeah, beyond our capacity. Most times, it's not that it is really beyond our capacity, but you know your strength and you know your weaknesses. You should be able to work with that and set a goal. Because the moment you set a goal that is unrealistic for you as a person or for the status you are in, you can easily be frustrated and you get lost trying to get that. Yeah. I can remember when I wanted to learn editing and I was just like, okay, I want to learn this. There was no time frame, there was nothing. And then I wasn't putting any effort to it. And I'm just like, oh, I want to learn editing. Now, for somebody that hasn't learned editing before, the first step was to learn the basics before going forward. And I went on to download a very complex app to learn, and it was very stressful, right? So your goal should be realistic, something that you can work with, something that you can do. Don't just set a big goal and expect to achieve them, right? And that's why I said before, I encourage you breaking your goals smaller. Because when you break them into smaller pieces, you'll be able to achieve little by little by little. And when you accumulate all of those things, you find out you've already achieved the first thing. But if you just keep the first thing alone, you just keep the long-term achievement alone, you would find yourself lost. Then the R, your goals should be relevant. Don't go around setting goals that are not important to you. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I know there are so many factors that affect us choosing a path in life. But one thing I tend to tell people: do not let people choose your goals. Do not let people decide what you push for. Right? Your goal should be something you want to do, something you have passion in doing. I love talking and I love giving speeches and everything. And I found myself in liking it so much. So I had to convert it. And I told myself, by the end of a particular year, I should be able to stand in front of people and give a 30 minutes talk and not even stutter. And I'm working towards it. I have a daily routine for it. So it is my goal because I chose it because it was something I loved to do. And it's something I believe I could work to do. Your goal should be relevant to you, not to other people. When choosing a course, when trying to choose a course, choose a career path, whatever it may be, try to make sure that those things are relevant. It might be important to somebody else, it might not be important to you as a person. People, whatever people like is different. So try to choose what works for you. And lastly, but not the least, it's very important, is the T. Your goal should be time bound, right? I feel time is one of the most important things in setting goals. Try to put a deadline to what you do, right? Try to put a deadline. Oh, by this particular time, I should be able to do this. By this particular time, I should be able to do this. So when you don't achieve them, you know you did not. And putting time just used to give this sense of urgency, like I really need to finish this thing. I would want to be accountable to myself. If I tell myself I want to read 10 books in 2 weeks, yeah, the fact that I put 2 weeks has given me a time frame. So I have to work within these 2 weeks to finish it. Now, depending on my capacity, 10 books might be too much, or 10 books might be enough for me to finish in 2 weeks. Right? So choose what works for you and set a time. Yeah, because this time helps you become an accountable person towards this goal. And the small bits that you are, the more accountable you are, rather, the more accountable you are, the more likely you are to achieving these goals. Setting goal is a crucial skill and is a crucial step for us as teenagers, as youths, whether for business, for career, for education. It is very important. It is more like a roadmap. It gives you direction on what to do. And remember the SMART criteria: S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for time bound. Try to break your goals into manageable steps. Yeah, I've been saying that I can't overemphasize on that. Break your goals into manageable steps. When you achieve this one, you feel relieved and you go on to the next phase and you go on to the next phase. And by the end, when you realize you already at the particular thing you wanted, but because you broke them down into simpler forms or into shorter steps, you were able to achieve them. And try your best to be positive and stay consistent. I feel like consistency is the most important key in setting goals and or in achieving goals. It is the most important key. Continuously doing it, because when you continuously do it, it becomes a culture, it becomes a habit. There's this saying: whatever you do for 21 days becomes a habit, right? So when you continuously do it, it's now in you. So try your best to be consistent. Whether you are a content creator, if you say you want to make 10 videos a day, make sure you're making 10 videos a day for TikTok. If you say you want to post your YouTube videos once a week or twice a week, make sure you achieve that. And the thing I tell people, see, there's nothing determination cannot get you. Once you are determined to get a particular thing and you have that hunger in you to get it, trust me, there's nothing stopping you. So go out there, set your goals, make your dreams a reality. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and you'll be seeing me on the next episode. Bye for now.